Hey guys, it's Stefan, and in this video I am going to show you how you can easily create a cool transition like this, or this, and even like this. And the best part is you don't even need any special editing skills. So let's break this down and jump straight into it. So oftentimes I like to add a little bit of entertainment value to my videos by adding a transition. Now, I'm not saying to use a transition on every single clip, because sometimes I see videos that do it and it becomes really distracting. So I'm gonna talk a little bit more about when to use a transition later in this video. Let's break down how I did the previous transitions. So for the first transition, I wanted to have a bit of a swipe effect. And so in order to do this, we need to break down the transition into two shots. In shot one, I asked my fantastic camera woman to swipe the camera from left to right after I was done talking, because that's going to create a bit of a blur. And then when we filmed the second shot, I asked my camera woman to swipe from left to right before I started talking. And then all that's left to do in the editing is to line up the end of shot one with the beginning of shot two, where both of them are blurry. So for the second transition, it was actually pretty similar, but this time I swiped not from left to right, but we swiped from top to bottom. And then for the last transition, I actually used a chair to be in the foreground. And so at the end of the first shot, my camera woman moves the camera in front of the chair so that it turns into a black frame. Then in the second shot, we actually start from behind that same chair so that it starts with the black frame and then it goes into me talking to the camera. Now, it's important to note here that when you do that, when you use something in the foreground in order to make your camera frame turn black, you need to make sure your exposure is set locked. And in order to do that, you can simply tap with your finger on the screen as you are in your camera mode to lock the exposure, because otherwise, which is what you can see here, it automatically starts to adjust and it's really difficult to get that black frame. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can create a cool transition with your phone without any special editing effects. Now, I do want to make sure that you know to not put a transition on every single shot, because it just gets really distracting. So what I'd like you to do is think of a purpose of your transition. For example, I like to use special transitions when I move from one location into another or a different context. Just make sure you've thought about this a little bit before you start creating transitions here and there, and it just becomes very confusing to look at. So that's it for now. I wish you all the best, and hopefully you can come up with some really cool transitions for your videos.